Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. It's not usual I do like post-game reactions videos, but I thought, you know what, let me just do a very quick one. We did do the Easy Talk on Friday. We had a full panel of guests. Got a little bit fiery, towards the middle and towards the end, but that's just the nature of the fan base at Arsenal, But on Cannon Fodder TV, we are very, very respectful. But if you wanted to, receive the latest and greatest news on Cannon Fodder TV, make sure you subscribe and also hit the notification button right here. Yes, right here on Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. Yeah, so like I said, make sure you subscribe to Cannon Fodder TV to receive all the latest, greatest news involving Arsenal and some other, bits and pieces of world football. Yeah, hit notification button so you can, don't miss anything. When we do upload videos, that you see the little light flashing your phone or your tablets or whatever piece of technology you have there. Yes, so Arsenal got the job done. Yes, they got the job done and they got the 3 points. Now, was I in denial? No, I wasn't in denial about the top four. But before I talk about the top four, Pablo Mari, yeah, he featured in his second game, and to see there's some jokes about, he could be the talisman every time he plays. It appears that we get a clean sheet. Yes, we got the second clean sheet. I didn't think Arsenal would keep a clean sheet against West Ham. I know we've been, sinking or dropping and giving away, freebies all over the place. But I saw a stat somewhere, was it today? With Arteta, we've got 10 games and 10 wins. 10 wins, I can't remember, and like 2 or 4 clean sheets. Listen, guys, there's still 11 more games to go in the Premier League. So let's just not forget that. Let's try and keep everything in perspective. The one main thing that Arteta must get is galvanize his players to eke out the maximum he can from these players that have failed so many times, not only under Freddie Lumber, but under the previous coach in Unai Emery. Yes, and it took a while for us to break West Ham down. And I did tweet out today that the first half could have been a carbon copy of the last 8 to 10 games. We never learn the lesson, do we? Unless Mikel Arteta wants Arsenal to play that way, which really I can't believe. Everything was just so slow, so pedestrian-like. I spoke to one or two viewers about speaking to them for the last few weeks about when have we seen Arsenal play for 90 minutes? For 90 minutes from beginning to end, shutting out the opposition. When is that performance going to come? But on the other side of things, we are in a points business where the points right back now matter more than anything else. As much as I like to critique, well, I don't like to critique, I just like to, break things down as we see it or as I see it on Cannon Fodder TV. We are in the points business. With 11 games to go, well, we're clearly not going to be in any relegation fight because I know, was it a month ago that people were talking about we're going to be in a relegation battle, but we're not in that anymore. We are in mid-table. We are a mid-table team. Let's not forget that. No more, no less. Let's not try and build up the squad of players into something that they are not, only for us to be let down so many times. Keep things in perspective. We know that Mikel Arteta has to speak to the board. The board have to support Mikel Arteta come the next transfer window to get rid of quite a few players and upgrade the current squad we have there. Yeah, Saka's played quite well, but he's not a left back. He's 18 years of age and he's been played to the bone. He's running on fumes at the moment. We've got Suarez to come back, who Yeah, we got him in and he's injured. We've got Thierry to come back. He's injured. So although we've got some competition in some places, the squad needs an overhaul, unfortunately. So let's get back to the game. So from what I saw, yeah, it was very, very pedestrian-like. A lot of sideways playing, and what it misses one player that can drive the ball forward, play the ball in between the lines, and maybe that player could be David Luiz. I'm not his greatest fan. Personally, for me, David Luiz should be playing a little bit further ahead. He shouldn't be in defence. Maybe he could be that that midfielder who can play the ball between the lines, maybe bring the ball out because he's more confident in that role than Mustafi, than Socrates, maybe than Bellerin. So maybe he's that player that we need in the midfield. That's one thing. The other thing was quite clear for me was that we lack pace in the defence. Any opposition which has fast, quick running attackers like Man City or Liverpool, Arsenal would be taken to the cleaners because our defence lacks any real pace. But then I hear you say that what about Tony Adams? Yes, but he used his brain. He realised he didn't have the pace. And so his positional play was fantastic. But I digress. So yeah, again, that's what I saw a lot of. Very reminiscent of last 8 to 10 games where we're so slow out of the starting blocks, and then you've got the opposition. Any little momentum, you're fearful for Arsenal. I was a little bit. Was I surprised? Yeah, I was surprised because Palomari was not in my predicted 11, but he played relatively well, so I'll give him props for that. But again, I think we need to see a lot more of what this guy can bring. I thought Ceballos had a progressive performance. What do I mean by that? Always looking for the ball, always trying to play players in, and with that, freed up Ozil to do his thing, whatever his thing may be. Yeah, well, anyway, he got the assist, didn't he? And actually, before that, I was screaming at him because he was in an ideal position in the area where he should have had a shot on goal, and he tried to square the ball. I'm thinking, just have a shot. Stop trying to be the assist king. We need goals. We need goals. But anyhow, and so Lacazette got the goal, and then there was this thing about VAR. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of VAR. I just think it's, as Ian Wright said, it makes a lot of people unhappy, and it's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to make things very, very, clinical and clear, and not take so long. And there was a shout for the penalty. I can't remember the defender's name, but he was tussling with Alexandre Lacazette. I'm 95% sure if it had been the other way around, the referee would have blown up for a penalty. And again, the conspiracy theories about the media, being against Arsenal. It's not a happy time being an Arsenal supporter when you see, this going on, but we must keep the faith. Again, personally, top four for me is out of reach. Keep things in perspective. Do not build a team up into something that they are not. Mikel Arteta is doing quite well, relatively well, with these bunch of players, but we must look ahead. The team must evolve. It has to change. If we are to stay progressive, the team has to change. Right. So let me quickly go into the chat and see what people have been saying. And I've got Matthew. Put your name up on the screen. Matthew Fabi says, Leno, yes, Leno again to the rescue. Top goalkeeper. As much as we complain about his communication skills, his lack of commanding in the area, when he comes out, he likes to froth his lines. He's still one of the top goalkeepers. A snip of £20 million. He saved us a few times today, I'll tell you now. And then you're going to say, do you think Arteta is going to be the manager of the month? Well, I know he was He's been chosen, hasn't he? I think so. Yeah, that question is already been answered. Lundbergkamp, too many crap players on 100k. I saw your tweet, Lundbergkamp, with slick hairstyles, thinking they're the dog's bollocks. Someone needs to tell them. And we've said that, Lundbergkamp. If you saw the Easy Talk yesterday, Max from our suppose rants, you know, a lot of the players, that's a common theme that we have on Channel 4 TV, but a lot of the players with the wrong mentality need to be shown the exit door. They have to go. They've got to be shown the door because they don't have that mentality that we have been demanding for so many years at Arsenal. They're not going to take us to the next level. All right, then I've got Ray from Arsenal Fan Circle. Evening, Ray. He says, what's up, Lundbergkamp? Midfield needs surgery, big time. And that's what I said. I think maybe, in some shape or form, maybe David Luiz could be the player. Again, just passing the ball through the lines, bringing the ball, forward. I was just getting the impression that maybe he should not be in defence. Doesn't have any pace, lacks any real heading ability. So maybe let's play to his strengths, which is the ball at his feet, where he can play the long balls, bring the ball out, from the back. One of the worst games from Xhaka, 6-7 times that he gave the ball that created really good chances to other teams. Yeah, but then the stats, people will say that so far he's been one of our, not the main progressive midfielders there. But if we're saying that, then we're not going to get any further. And again, I'm going to go back to what Max said a few weeks ago, that you've got certain players who are behaving badly within the club and they still get chosen. Something has to change. There has to be sanctions. There has to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Somebody has to be made, an example of. You can't have players telling, fans to F off. You can't have players, disrespecting the coach in social media and there not been any consequences. The whole mythology, the whole ideology of the club has to change. It has to change. Okay. Leno is a very decent goalkeeper. He's above decent, Ray. Really good goalkeeper. Tobias lost the ball a lot. He lost it a few times. Again, players are going to make mistakes. But it's about choosing the players who have minimal mistakes and the mistakes that don't lead on to the opposition scoring goals, Ray. That's the whole point. And a lot of these players, you can't have an emotional attachment to. A lot of these players are not up to the level that we demand, as supporters of the club. And so it's going to call for the board, and Raul, to really source quality, young, hungry players with the right mentality. We've said it so many times. I speak many times, a lot of times with James. Source out quality, young, hungry players that don't have, this air and grace about them because they think that they're the bee's knees. Hi Ray, tell me about it. We have the worst midfield in top 10 easily. Tobias put a shift in, but his passing in the final third was off. Also, why is he doing back heels in our own half when we need a goal? And I saw that. I saw that. When he was playing now against Olympiacos, he had a real stinker that night. A real stinker. I was thinking, Tobias, what are you doing, man? Just try and do, the simple things, nice and easily, and everything else will take care of itself. And then will save us a lot of times, yeah. And like I said, this season and in Europa, he made one mistake, and everyone remembers this, and not the 100 saves before. On point, Matthew. Absolutely on point. And unfortunately, as a goalkeeper, that's what happens. Goalkeepers get remembered not so much for their great saves, but the mistakes that they make. That's just the way it is. Major reconstruction midfield needed with tough games coming up. Top four may be beyond us, but the old saying goes one game at a time. And Ray, that's what I've always said to you whenever you've invited me onto your channel. I can't think 4 games ahead. I can't. Because with Arsenal, you just don't know what you're going to get. So let's just deal with yesterday and today, and tomorrow will take care of itself, game by game. We are one of 4-year project, so we are looking at top 6 finish this year, and my prediction is top 7. That's what I predicted. I don't think we'll reach top 4. I think the highest we'll reach will be top 7. Mube's in the house. As bad as Lewis is defending, he's one of our best defenders. Can't take him out until we get better. Yeah, Mube, and like I said, I think maybe he could be our... Oh, what's happening here? Our foil. You know, he could be the player. What's happened here? Something's happened. Excuse me, guys. I think something's just happened with my camera. Begging your pardon. Yeah, sorry about this, people. I've just got a problem with my camera for some reason. It's guys, I'm really sorry. It appears I've got a problem with my camera for some reason. It has crashed. However, we'll carry on in audio mode for the next few minutes, and I'll wrap up. I'll try and answer as many questions and feature as many comments in the chat as I can. Right. So where was I? Yes, Mube, as you were saying about as bad as David Luiz is, he's one of our best defenders. I can't take him out until we have somebody better. And like I said at the beginning of this podcast, it's like he is a player who really should be playing a little bit further up rather than in a defensive mode. He's clearly better suited at passing the ball than headering the ball or even defending. So definitely, I would have him playing a little bit further up. So maybe he's the midfield player that we need to have the intricate plays, be a little bit more progressive, and give the midfield a little bit more confidence, because the midfield is all over the place, 6s and 7s. One here from Ray says, yes, Stan, and Papa was not ready to chase players, so it took yep. And actually, I did feature Socrates in my preview, and he had an okay game. You know, I said he's very, very limited in what he offers, but yeah, this is just the nature of the squad that we have currently. You know, at Arsenal. And then we've got an Andrilla. Imagine celebrating, scraping a win against West Ham at home. You're inspiring weak mentality. And this is what I've said. Let's not make Arsenal out to be something that they are not. That they're not, you know, prime, you know, Barcelona or Real. They're miles and miles and miles away. If we are in mid-table, it means we are a mid-table team. Nothing more and nothing less. Let's see what else. What else is here? What else can I pick up? Matthew says we can do a top 5 because Man City are banned in Europa League. So top 5, 6 or 7. Again, I'm not looking that far ahead. I'm not going to look that far ahead. I just really believe, you know, the maximum we can get out of these players, because I still think we've got some losses in us. Again, I'm not sure what our run in is towards the end of the season, but yeah, I'm not going to build up the team and then only for them to let me down. Arteta isn't doing himself any favours, putting Oba on the left wing, Socrates at right back. It seems the only thing that's changed since Emery is that we don't concede 30 shots anymore. That is an absolutely good point, Lumberkamp. Good point. At least we have reduced the number of shots, but again, it's a work in progress. A work in progress. Got to get rid of a lot of these players, otherwise it's going to be, you know, more of the same. Sanderman, I get the feeling Mikel is done with Ainsley Maitland-Niles and he'll be gone in the summer. Yes, strange one, really. I've not seen anything. I'm just going by what I've read on social media. He is fit, but he doesn't appear to feature, you know, in any shape or form, which is very, very strange because really, you know, you've got Suarez who's injured. Socrates is a makeshift right back. Bellerin is still not 100%. So why not play Ainsley Maitland-Niles, you know, right back? That's for me. It's a strange one. It's a strange one. Lumberkamp, we are playing dead football. Where is the Guardiola football? Yeah, but then again, you could say, how can you play Guardiola football with these players? They're just not good enough, Lumberkamp. They're not good enough. Arteta must drive the players on to get best possible finish. Guys, actually, before I end this podcast, you know, a quick vote. You know, which position do you think Arsenal will end up at the end of this season? So yeah, quick. You know, let me know in the chat. Where do you think Arsenal will end up at the end of this season? Going back in the chat very, very quickly. Camp Ziyech should be at Arsenal right now for 25 million that we could have got him for in the summer. We are joke club buying and loaning injury-prone players who never get to play. And Lumberkamp, that's what I've said. That is what I said. Why can't we source young, hungry players? Players who don't have a history of getting injured. Why can't we do that? Why can't the club do that? Before Tierney came to Arsenal, he had a history of being injured. We've got Suarez. Where is he? He's injured. It doesn't make any sense to me. Okay. Mube says, fourth bucket. Listen, Mube, I'm at market today. What's today's date? Today's the 7th of March. Mube says 4th. It's not going to happen, bro, man. Not going to happen. Matthew says 5th or 6th. Much wrestling, I recognize. 5th. We need top 5. We can't play Guardiola football with the squad, only Allardyce football with this bunch, and that's what I said. It's like you're trying to get the maximum speed out of a reliant Robin, get up to 200 miles per hour, and it's not going to happen with these players. Pick 2 players who started today, Alex, whom you would like to move on. Only 2 players. I can't make it in double figures, Ray. All right, the players I like to move on. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of David Luiz. Really, he's currently a defender, and he lacks pace. He lacks pace. He can't header the ball. I would like to send him away. As much as people say that Xhaka is one of the best midfielders, I can't forgive him for how he told everyone to F off, and he was supposed to be the captain. So if you ask me to pick 2 players, these would be the 2 players that I would like to get rid of. I'm being generous. Yeah, well, I'm fed up of being generous, man. It's time to be cutthroat. Too many of these players are given too many, opportunities. I said there has to be like a punishment. Somebody has to set the tone and the standard. And I always harp on about the George Graham era there. If anyone has seen a documentary in 89, just look and see how he got these players in. None of these players he brought in, Brian Marwood, Lee Dixon, Steve Bold, these players, not one of them costs over £1 million. Brian Marwood, I think it was 750k. But look at the mentality. Look what he instilled there. Fear in these players. This is what I'm demanding of you. If you can't do it, you are out. I don't care if you don't like me, but this is Arsenal Football Club. We all know he left under a dark cloud. But his time at Arsenal when he came in, that was revolutionary. That was revolutionary there. Getting rid of the likes of Graham Ricks, Tony Walcott, who were at that time seen as luxury players. But they hadn't won anything since 78, 79. So there's the marker. That should be the standard bearer there. That we bring in young, hungry players who are going to fight for Arsenal, who don't have any Ian Graces. So Lundberg, you are absolutely right. We've got players on thousands of pounds a week, and they're just not cutting it. They're not cutting it. So if you have an emotional attachment to these players, be prepared to become a mid-table team. I'm warning you now, the 7th of March, 2020. If you love these set of players, you want them to stay at Arsenal, be prepared for mid-table life. Forget about the Europa League, forget about the Champions League. That will be a distant memory. Heads have to roll. Players have become too complacent, too happy. Even with all the changes we've had, even after all the changes we have had since Arsene Wenger left, we still have that loser, scared mentality there. Anyway, that's a bit of my rant there. Let me quickly get back into the chat. Guys, I'm very, very sorry. Usually you would see my face, or maybe you guys are happy not to see my face. But yeah, a major failure with my camera. Let's just see. Lewis before. No, man, I'm saying both of them. I'm saying both of them have to go. Both of them, Mube. Ray gave me the option, only 2 players. Get rid of both of them, man. Both of them have to go. Do you think if we sell Laka or Oba, we could buy defenders? There is this debate that the reason why the defense gets exposed is because the midfield don't know when to stick or twist. The midfield are not good enough to defend. And I have always said that Lucas Torreira needs someone to partner him because he can't take on the whole world on him, on his own shoulders himself. And lo and behold, where's Torreira? He's injured. He's injured. So as much as the defense has been maligned, yeah, we've got Saliba, William Saliba, he'll be coming in next season. Let's see how Pablo Mari plays. If he is the bee's knees, then maybe we should keep him. Tierney hasn't had a good run out because he's been injured. So it's like a combination, of things. It's a puzzle for Mikel Arteta has to solve. Who needs to be sold? Who, who we're going to keep? That's for Mikel Arteta and the board to sort out. Right, guys, let me just quickly go through a couple more before I wrap this one up. A bit of breaking news. Have you seen Mourinho calling out the record signing of Dembele? Listen, I've been doing other bits and pieces at home. I had a TV on. I saw a snippet of Mourinho, but listen, I haven't got time to listen to this guy, really. The situation with Eric Dyer, for me, tells me a lot about the manager. Because only the manager has that kind of mentality where the players are doing that. And a slight controversial? No. This is not controversial, what I'm going to say. I know Eric Dyer, he was very upset because somebody in the stands, a fan or supporter, had been having a go at his younger brother, who I understand is disabled. Let me tell you something, guys. Let me tell you something. John Barnes, when he played for Liverpool, received a bullet in his post because he is a black player playing in English football in the 80s. Black players have faced a lot of abuse. Do you see any of the black players flying into the stands to confront the abusers? No, you don't. No, you don't. So as much as I can understand part of what Eric Dyer did there, no. I'm sorry. Anyway, listen, that's my rant. That's my rant. A couple more, guys. See, Lundberg pick a few more. We can't afford passengers anymore. Plus, we can get at least 30 million for him. Yes, we can. Murray is not going to be a world beater, but could be third or fourth choice next season. Sorry, but guys, again, we've only seen him play best part of just 2 games. We need someone to be calm, cool and collective in the defence. And so far, what I've seen, little bits and pieces, he is calm. But he's only faced the likes of Portsmouth and West Ham. Let's see what he does against the big boys. 2 more. Does anyone really see a time where Eddie is our number 9 starting every game? I don't. His game is one-dimensional to play as a lone striker. He's better off playing as a part of a 2. Yeah, but again, he's just broken in. Mikel Arteta has seen something in this boy. And so as much as we miss Danny Welbeck because he was our plan B, maybe, just maybe in inverted commas, Eddie Nketiah could be our plan B. So when things are not, turning out right, he could be the striker to come in with a burst of energy and maybe score the winning goal. You never know, like, Roy of the Rovers stuff. But no, I'm joking. Listen, only time will tell. Really, only time will tell what this boy is going to really have to offer. Just a point on Willock. His form has dropped off terribly. I saw a documentary on YouTube where he was saying that he's been at Arsenal since he was at the age of 3. He's a veteran. Joe Willock, he's been at Arsenal since the age of 3. So maybe he does need to go out on loan. He's a strange player. When I saw him coming into the Europa League final for the last 5 minutes, he gave me a ray of hope because he did a lot in that 5-10 minutes more than most of the players in the final there. But his form has really dipped off, hasn't it? Oh, dearie me. Okay, what else do we have? Listen, guys, make sure you subscribe, like and share to Canal 4 TV on all platforms. Hit the bell notification button so you can receive all the latest and greatest news right here on Canal 4 TV. There are 2 segments, one on Monday, which is fan comments, where I have 1 or 2 guests where we go through all the comments that the viewers, subscribers, and followers have kindly put on the channel. And Friday, we have the Easy Talk, where we have a panel of guests talking about the week's news, hot news involving Arsenal. So make sure you tune in every Friday, 7 p.m. UK time, or on Mondays, 5:30 UK time. That's why you must subscribe to Canal 4 TV and hit the bell notification button. Right, just one more before I end this live podcast. Again, guys, I'm very, very sorry. I've had like a malfunction with my camera. So you're lucky enough don't have to see my face. One more here. Let's have a look. City will make us look like Barnet. What do you mean? You mean like the city of London and what? London Borough of Barnet? Because Barnet's a nice place, man. Nah, I'm joking. I know what you mean. And I think I'll give the last one to Ray. To sum up, not a good team performance, but 3 points, and we go to City with anything we get being a bonus there. Do we play there tight or go for it? You know what? Fortunes favor the brave. Go for it. We've got nothing to lose. Hey, guys, listen. I'm gonna wrap this up, but I'm gonna say thank you to all of you who were kind enough to come in and actually stuck with me, even though I had the camera failure. Maybe I'll probably do it more often. You know, you don't have to see my face and you just see the icon. Actually, there's no icon there. But guys, again, if you've been wondering who or what you've been watching Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans, literally all over this world. And 3 points, breaking news.